Bubbles. Did you ever know of anything more delightfully commonplace? We spent years as kids playing with bubbles, trying to blow as many as possible, to catch them, to pop them, and they appear in baths, with boiling water, and in your glass of soda. But bubbles have much more secret lives. You might be asking how much you can do with a lovely bubble. After all, don't they always just pop? And yes, that's true, but in studying their structures and mysteries, scientists have discovered that bubbles, while fairly well understood themselves, have some more mysterious cousins. Let's start with what bubbles are. That might seem awfully easy, but they're more complicated than you think. Simply put, bubbles are one substance surrounding another, normally a liquid over a gas. They're easiest to create in water soap solutions, where there are two films of soap surrounding a layer of water, with the hydrophilic sections of the soap molecule pointing towards the water layer and the hydrophobic away. The pretty colors seen on the surface of soap bubbles is their iridescence, based on the thickness of the films and dictating how the light will be absorbed. While they might not always start off as spheres, bubbles will eventually even out to become that shape because it has the least surface area while containing the most volume. Now that we have some of the basics of regular bubbles down, let me tell you about something you've probably never heard of before: the antibubble. The other way around, the antibubble is a globule of liquid surrounded by a layer of gas and submerged in liquid. Strange, right? Antibubbles can be made relatively easily using a container of soapy water and a syringe or other small-tipped tool filled with the identical liquid or another one entirely. Soap is a surfactant, which lowers the surface tension by covering the water in the previously mentioned hydrophobic and hydrophilic groups. The hydrophobic groups interact differently with air and allow for its capture in between the layers of water, creating the antibubble. Instead of rising quickly in liquid, the antibubbles take their time, and if the liquid inside the antibubble is denser than that around it, the bubble will actually sink. Antibubbles are usually incredibly short-lived, normally lasting only a few seconds, but this can be prolonged to minutes by temperature differences between the liquids, and supposedly indefinitely by vibration, just like normal bubbles. Scientists have not been able to study this phenomenon much because of their tendency to pop. And much of the research up until 2002 had been conducted by amateurs, including one site created by Christopher Nadovich that claimed to have once been the only source of information on antibubbles for many years, though now they are beginning to get more attention from the scientific community. In 2003, according to the BBC, Belgian scientists created antibubbles in beer, citing that because beer also contains surfactants, the antibubbles could be formed. More stable antibubbles were created in 2011 through a specific emulsion process called Pickering stabilization. When two unmixable substances are combined, like oil and water that will naturally settle out, small solid particles are attached to the barrier between the substances that allows them to remain mixed. The process extended the life of antibubbles into several hours. In April 2012, astronaut Dr. Don Pettit played with antibubbles during his time aboard the International Space Station, using a syringe to inject bubbles inside of bubbles inside of bubbles, thus creating layers of antibubbles likely only possible in microgravity, where the bubbles are larger and last slightly longer. Scientists hope to further stabilize the antibubbles and then to explore their properties in greater detail. With this knowledge, they hope to create antifoam, or to use them to remove chemicals from smokestacks or deliver drugs to patients. It's very possible that you have created lots of antibubbles without even knowing it, just by doing the dishes. With any luck, these mysterious versions of an old childhood favorite will be escaping anonymity before long. Thank you for watching!